Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, November 7th. I'm Denise Douglas.
And I'm Patricia Malone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, the city of Seat Pleasant is going after abandoned properties. The move comes in the wake of last week's deadly fire. Our Byron Scott has that story.
This horrific incident will not be addressed lightly.
Standing in front of a house where two people died in a fire last week, Seat Pleasant Mayor Eugene Grant announced that the city is going after abandoned properties.
We will be going after those vacant housing owners, whether they be individuals, banks, mortgage companies, who are being dismissive and negligent.
For Grant, the deaths of the two people brought the matter front and center.
And so therefore, we are moving forward to ensure that we protect our residents, that we protect our city.
Seat Pleasant is dotted with vacant properties, 98 in all according to the mayor, including this one on Seat Pleasant Drive.
6318 Seat Pleasant Drive. The other one is 311 69th Place. That is also owned by HUD. We are asking HUD to come in Seat Pleasant, put their property back on the tax rolls, or donate it to the city.
Grant says they are working to identify the owners of the 98 properties. As for the four he mentioned today, he says they have levied fines. Beyond that, the mayor says he may file lawsuits.
So what is the solution?
The city's director of economic development announced the creation of the Seat Pleasant Housing Trust Fund.
The purpose of this trust fund is to take vacant properties from being vacant and blighted and turning them into affordable, smart homes with technology based with them and make them affordable and attractive to other residents.
Considering the scope of the problem in Seat Pleasant, it isn't likely to be remedied soon. But for a city struggling with scores of abandoned housing, it is a start. In Seat Pleasant, Byron Scott, CTV News.
And we now know the cause of that fire that killed two men. Investigators say it was arson and that the deaths were the result of smoke inhalation.
Meanwhile, questions continue to swirl about the Prince George's County Public Schools grade audit. Now, that report came out last week. Today, school CEO Kevin Maxwell held a briefing to respond to concerns from the county council and other officials. The report, like we said, came out late last week. In some, there was no finding of systematic wrongdoing. Some of the recommendations include improving the governance structure, record keeping, improving that, as well as policy and procedures. Improving all of that, Council Member Mel Franklin expressed concern about the report.
What does good faith effort mean? I imagine different people have different definitions of that. I think if you earn a 20, you get a 20. I don't think you earn a 20 and get a 50 because you tried. I just don't think that's teaching the right method. I won't go on and on, but I do think we've got an opportunity to get a handle on some of these things that have probably been problems for a long time. The absence thing, I understand culturally that a lot of kids know that it's not enforced. I think that's something we got to really lock down. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to make sure that we do the rest of the work, which is making sure that we dig deeply into this audit. I agree with you. There are some things that are very, very concerning in there for my team and I. And I think that we have to do justice to the audit and the findings and make sure that we make the improvements that are called for. Some of these things are long-standing issues, as you noted.
Maxwell says the district will continue to review the audit in an effort to put the necessary changes in place. And next year, a second independent review will be done to ensure that all the recommendations, again, are in place.
CASA is strongly condemning the Trump administration's announcement by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security that it will eliminate work permits for thousands of Nicaraguans nationwide. DHS says it will also postpone a decision on the fate of 60,000 Hondurans under the Temporary Protected Status program, also known as TPS.
People from Nicaragua, which is about 2,500 people, are not able to stay in the country past 12 months. So they are reducing the number of people on TPS by just eliminating people from Nicaragua altogether and creating a lot of uncertainty for people of other countries like Honduras and Salvador because they don't know what's going to happen.
Sí, tengo mucho miedo a que tal vez me deporten a mí y me separen de mis dos hijos. Eso sería para mí la muerte. La muerte porque ya me pasó lo primero con el mayor.
PEREZ says she cannot bear to think of being separated from her two children here because she already went through that once before when she left her oldest son in Honduras. Now, that program began in the 90s to allow foreigners who had suffered from natural disasters or armed conflicts to remain in the U.S. legally. The Trump administration says that conditions in Central America no longer warrant a reprieve from deportation.
A man was arrested this morning after a woman he lived with was found dead in their home. According to authorities, the incident happened in the area of Bradbury Manor Court in Silver Spring around 6 a.m. Police are investigating this as a possible domestic homicide. Details about the victim have not yet been released.